Canada's energy landscape is on the edge of a transformation, and right now, the spotlight is burning bright on Alberta and Ottawa. Premier Danielle Smith is not mincing words, she's demanding a new oil pipeline, and she wants laws removed that she claims are throttling infrastructure investment. Alberta is done waiting, done watching opportunities slip away, and done letting bureaucracy dictate its future. Smith is sending a message loud and clear: Canada's energy future cannot afford hesitation, and her province will not be sidelined. But Alberta is only one half of this high-stakes drama. The federal government is stepping up with a bold, strategic response. The message is crystal: Canada is open for energy business, and it's positioning itself as low risk, low cost, and low carbon, a trifecta that could redefine the rules for global investors.
Subscribe before moving forward.
The Silesome LNG project is not just an example, it's a statement. One of the most environmentally sustainable LNG projects in the world, it proves that energy growth and environmental stewardship can coexist. And that's exactly the kind of signal investors need to see: Canada can deliver massive energy projects without compromising the planet. But talk isn't enough. Projects have stalled for decades under a clunky sequential approval system, where provincial approvals finish long before federal departments even start, creating years of wasted time, missed opportunities, and frustrated investors. That is history. The federal government is flipping the playbook: approvals will now run in parallel. Financing, environmental assessments, Indigenous consultations, and regulatory approvals all move together. Decisions will happen faster. Investors get certainty. Projects get built. And the message to the world is clear: Canada is no longer a place where bureaucracy wins, it's a country that executes.
Premier Smith is clear in her demands. She wants a new oil pipeline, and she wants your government to eliminate laws she views as inhibiting investment in infrastructure. What are you asking of the Premier?
We're many things, and as I say, it's a productive discussion, meeting minds. We're looking for a major investment that puts, amongst other things, Alberta, puts the industry, puts the country in a position for the energy future. And the future of energy, clean and conventional, is low risk. Canada's low risk. It's low cost, and it's low carbon. And you look again at the Silesome as an example. Top decile, one of the most environmentally sustainable LNG projects. Rightly proud of that. With respect to the emissions intensity of oil and gas, the intention is to get that down substantially. That has been falling. We have the opportunity to do that. And we need to do that in concert, as well as in concert. I'll say one other thing, and we'll pass on. Is making our industrial carbon markets, the tier market in Alberta, work more effectively, and that's an important element for future investment certainty going forward. Thank you.
Investment certainty is the heartbeat of this strategy. Alberta's industrial carbon markets are a critical piece of the puzzle, and the federal government is pushing hard to make them work efficiently. Predictability equals confidence, and confidence equals billions in new investment flowing into Canadian energy. It's a high-stakes chess game, and the prize is Alberta's prosperity and Canada's energy independence. Meanwhile, the Major Projects Office is quietly revolutionizing how Canada manages its largest, most complex energy projects. Its jewel. The Pathways Project, a carbon capture and storage initiative with the potential to decarbonize oil and gas production on a massive scale. Imagine an Alberta energy sector that powers the country while drastically reducing emissions. This isn't some distant ambition, it's happening now, and Ottawa is making sure Alberta is front and center in this transition. Negotiations between Ottawa and Alberta, known as the Grand Bargain, are intense, meticulous, and transformative. The goal is nothing less than aligning federal and provincial priorities, smoothing regulatory hurdles, and accelerating investment while integrating Indigenous participation. A few sticking points remain, but the momentum is undeniable. The stakes are monumental: economic growth, energy sovereignty, and Canada's position on the global stage. Every delayed decision, every lingering law, every investor hesitation risks leaving Canada behind as the world races forward. And here's the kicker: The energy debate is no longer just oil and gas. Clean technology, carbon reduction, and sustainability are no longer buzzwords, they're the currency of global credibility. The Pathways Project, improvements to Alberta's carbon markets, and federal backing of sustainable LNG projects represent a pivot, a bold strategy that merges economic growth with environmental responsibility. The federal government is signaling, Canada can have it all: prosperity, energy independence, and climate credibility. This is Canada at a turning point, Alberta demanding action, Ottawa delivering strategy, and the energy sector watching, waiting, and preparing for a seismic shift. The dialogue happening today isn't just policy, it's history in the making. Decisions taken now will echo for decades, defining Alberta's wealth, Canada's energy independence, and the country's place in the global energy hierarchy. The energy future of Canada is no longer a concept, it's happening right now, in high-stakes negotiations that blend vision, urgency, and ambition. And as Premier Smith presses her demands, as Ottawa rolls out innovation and strategy, one fact is undeniable: the clock is ticking, the stakes are enormous, and Canada's energy destiny is being written live, bold, and unflinching. Investors are watching. Competitors are watching. The world is watching. And Canada? Canada is moving, fast, calculated, and with a clear message: the future of energy belongs to those bold enough to seize it. The negotiations are reaching a fever pitch. The so-called grand bargain between Ottawa and Alberta isn't just another policy discussion, it's a blueprint for the nation's economic and energy future. Both sides are clear on what's at stake: Alberta wants freedom to build, Ottawa wants growth balanced with environmental accountability. Every meeting, every discussion, every handshake, or lack thereof, has ripple effects that could reshape the global energy market.
My question is similar to my colleague Aaron's question. 2 months ago you announced the initial batch of major projects. How has being on that list helped those projects move along?
Yeah, okay. So, and there'll be a bit of overlap with, not surprising, with what Don Farrell said. Part of it is moving in parallel as opposed to moving sequentially. I mean, part of the reason why a number of projects in the past have taken a decade or so before a decision is made whether to move forward. There's a term, as I'm sure you know, in building a final investment decision. Well, you don't take the final investment decision of whether to put shovels in the ground, metaphorically or physically, until you know whether you've got the regulatory approvals, some idea of what the financing terms are going to be, who's going to buy potentially the product, those aspects. Well, the answers, whether you're going to get the environmental assessment, who your partners are going to be, and how can they participate fully in the projects. What being part of this process is, from the federal government's perspective, is to move our contributions to all of those aspects, to speed them up, to move them in parallel, with provincial governments. I'll give you another example, which is that too often, historically, you'd have a provincial approval process, and then the federal approval process would start. But different federal departments would start their approval processes at different times and not take into account what others were doing. So, with respect to the projects that have come over, we're moving much faster. We're moving in parallel. There's a single window for the people who are working on these projects to see all of the financing support. There's a single window for Indigenous peoples working with the federal government. Again, it's not the entire picture, but it's an important part of the picture to move that forward.
At the heart of it all is investment certainty. Projects that have languished for years are finally moving forward because the federal government is tearing down the roadblocks that slowed approvals. The parallel processing system, the single window approach for financing and Indigenous participation, and the major projects office's oversight are all part of a machine designed for speed, efficiency, and accountability. Investors, long wary of Canada's bureaucratic red tape, are now watching with renewed confidence. This is a signal: if you want to build energy in North America, Canada is ready, organized, and serious. And the stakes extend beyond dollars and timelines. The Pathways Project, a centerpiece of Ottawa's strategy, is rewriting what's possible in oil and gas. Carbon capture and storage is no longer a promise, it's a reality, integrated into Canada's energy vision. Imagine Alberta's oil flowing while emissions drop, a win for the economy and the planet. It's ambitious. It's revolutionary. And it sends a clear message to the world: Canada can lead in energy and climate responsibility simultaneously. Premier Smith's demands remain a rallying cry. A new pipeline, regulatory reform, and faster approvals aren't just policy points, they are a declaration: Alberta will not wait for permission to shape its destiny. Ottawa's response is equally strong. This isn't about conflict, it's about collaboration at the highest stakes, where economic growth, climate action, and national prosperity intersect. The result? A potentially historic memorandum of understanding that could lock in Canada's energy strength for decades. This is also a lesson in political timing and strategy. The energy sector doesn't operate on a slow calendar. Markets, global competitors, and investors move at lightning speed. Canada's response cannot be measured in months, it must happen in real time. Every decision made in these negotiations sends a signal to investors, to the global market, to the world watching Canada's energy story unfold. And the implications are enormous. A successful agreement could secure billions in investment, create tens of thousands of jobs, and establish Alberta, and Canada, as a hub for cutting-edge, low-carbon energy production. The Pathways Project and similar initiatives demonstrate that Canada is not choosing between prosperity and sustainability, it's engineering a future where both thrive. But let's be clear, this is not guaranteed. Negotiations are delicate, compromises are hard, and the stakes are existential. A misstep could delay projects, deter investors, or weaken Canada's credibility on the global stage. That's why every detail, every clause, every regulatory tweak matters. It's a high-stakes chess game with national consequences, and both Ottawa and Alberta know it. For Canadians watching this unfold, the message is powerful: your government is not standing still. From Alberta's demands to Ottawa's innovative strategies, from parallel approvals to carbon capture breakthroughs, Canada is positioning itself as a global energy leader. The path is ambitious, yes, but ambition is what this moment demands. In the end, this is more than a provincial-federal negotiation. It's a statement of Canada's identity. It's a declaration that we can build energy, create prosperity, and protect the environment all at once. It's proof that with vision, strategy, and determination, Canada can write its own destiny. And as the grand bargain moves closer to reality, one fact stands out: the energy future of Canada will be bold, decisive, and unstoppable. The clock is ticking, the deals are being made, and history is being written. Investors are watching. Competitors are watching. And Canadians? They're witnessing a moment where policy, ambition, and innovation collide, and the future of energy in this country will never be the same again.